and I am super excited to have a couple of really fun things going on. And so I am just going to get this layout started and talk to you real quickly. We are doing the Secret Not Secret Kit Club over on Facebook. So on our Redefine Creative and Secret Not Secret Kit Club Facebook page, holy cow, that's a mouthful, is doing a challenge in the month of September, which is a 15-minute creativity challenge. And so we are challenging everybody to spend 15 minutes at least every single day doing something creative. And so if you are interested in joining us, I will put a link down below to where you can find us on Facebook. But we would absolutely love to have you. There's definitely still time to get started. There's going to be a lot of amazing prizes throughout the month, and we would love to have you. So the other super exciting thing is a bunch of the Kit Club members decided that we needed a day every month where all over social media we could kind of celebrate the Kit Club and the amazing thing the members are making, because we are kind of growing like crazy. And so we have a lot of super talented, really, really fun ladies in the group, and we want to be able to share and kind of showcase what everyone is making. So they have put together that on the 9th of every single month is going to be Secret Not Secret Kit Club Day. And so all kinds of members on all sorts of social media, so YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, will be sharing some of the cool things that they're making. So definitely be on the lookout for all of that sharing on the 9th of every month. And so for this particular layout, now that we can talk about the layout, I'm using a 4x6 picture, and this is from Six Flags. And it was just kind of documenting my kids, and my family and I all thought that it was really, really cool seeing the sunset behind the roller coasters. And so this particular cut file is one that I created for the Creative Cuts Club. So this was one of their exclusive cut files. And it works perfectly with this picture of the roller coasters because it kind of mimics those circular parts of the roller coaster loops. And I really liked that. So I just kind of started playing around with this Teen Spirit collection because I really like all of these really kind of awesome colors. So we've got the oranges and the deep reds and the turquoise and the blues, and it really screams my kids. So I'm just kind of playing with what I want all the layers to look like. And I went ahead and backed 3 of the circles with pattern paper. And you're going to see that I end up tearing those apart. So I end up deciding that that's just a little bit too much and not really what I wanted for this particular layout. So I do end up taking those apart. But I'm just kind of going through all of my embellishments and trying to decide how can I just make this look really fun. So I've pulled out some older collections to combine with my Teen Spirit. This one is, I believe, Imagine That. And we've just got all kinds of really bright, fun elements. As my kids are getting older, these types of collections really appeal to me because it's much more the color scheme and the types of icons and phrases and things that my kids use and that my kids like. So I'm just playing with where I want all of those embellishments to go. And I have that little epoxy flare, and that's from Scrap and Happy Studio. And I know I want to get that in there because when I made this cut file, I sized the circles to be able to hold those flare badges because we do have some of those flare badges that come in every single one of our Creative Cuts Club kits. And so I wanted to make sure that I had a cut file that, really emphasized using those. So those little tiny circles fit perfectly with the epoxy flare. So I knew I wanted to get one of those in there. And then otherwise I'm just playing with my embellishments. So I have this one major cluster going at the bottom underneath my photo. And then I have another one kind of on the top right-hand diagonal because this cut file does go in kind of a diagonal pattern. But then I also knew that I wanted to use some of those little triangular flags. So I have 3 in the top left and 2 in the bottom right to kind of create a diagonal that's going to pull your eye through my layout going the opposite diagonal direction as what the cut file goes. So I'm really kind of all the way pointing you in towards the center in my picture, which is what we want to do. So I went back and you can see I took out those pattern papers because I felt like they were just too much. I really love the look of a white cut file on a black pattern paper. I went ahead and punched some little triangles with this red, and I'm going to kind of stick those in. And then I also had some graph paper index cards. And I just picked these up like back to school shopping. So they're index cards, but they have a graph paper print. And I have a tag punch. So I just punched them out of that graph paper, and that gives me some really fun kind of different looking tags to use. So I have one of those kind of stuck into each one of my clusters. And you'll see as I'm adding things, I'm making sure that I'm kind of keeping things balanced. So when I'm adding something to the bottom cluster, I'm adding a similar thing to the top cluster. And I'm kind of just going little embellishment crazy, to be honest with you. So I'm going to add in some of these arrows. This pack of puffy stickers also came in this particular kit with the Creative Cuts Club, so I want to get a few of those in there. And they are like one of my favorite sets of puffy stickers ever. They're from Vicki Boutin. They're super usable with like every collection I own, which is awesome. I am going to take a few of these little stars and add them to the outside line of one of those circles in the cut file. And I like that that adds just a little pop of color, but isn't super overwhelming. Like I felt like the pattern paper was a lot more overwhelming. The little stickers just kind of add a fun little detail, and that's good enough for me. I am going back to seeing if there's any other little stars and pieces that I want to add, and my embellishment clusters are definitely starting to get a little crazy. There's a whole lot of layers of little tiny embellishments and things, but sometimes I like that look where you have a lot of little things kind of clustered up. So every time you look at this layout, you kind of get something a little bit different. That push the limits is going to kind of act as my title, but I have this bottom circle, and I know I want my journaling to go there, but I feel like it also needs kind of a bigger word. So I was looking for a word thicker or sticker or something like that, and that's kind of where I go off screen here. I'm trying to find if there's a word or something that I can put in that space and then journal around it. And I really don't find any words that work, so I just grab these stickers and I'm just going to put the word epic, and then I include that into my journaling. So my journaling says something to the effect of it was absolutely epic. And that's just going to kind of finish off that little open spot down there. And then I'm just going to add a few of these little dots that came on the puffy sticker sheet. So rather than enamel dots, I'm adding the little puffy sticker dots instead. And I put a couple around my journaling, and then I add a couple to each of those embellishment clusters as well. Because, you know, there weren't enough embellishments in those little spots. So we had to have some little dots. And I think that's basically going to do it. So it came together pretty quickly. It's just a bunch of layered embellishments combined with that cut file. But I really love that look of a white cut file on a black pattern paper background. And these circles worked perfectly with the loops in the roller coaster. So do make sure that you kind of check out around social media for everybody using this little icon today. And I will be back to see you again very soon. Bye, friends.